Welcome to Comic Power. I am your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to Wicked Wednesday, where we discuss all the new comics that's coming out this week. Every Wednesday is like Christmas for us nerds because that's when the new comics come out. These are my recommendations for the best books to pick up on Wednesday. But here's some other information first. There are rumors flying that the Inhumans TV show will be canceled by ABC. At the time I make this video, that has not been officially confirmed, but the project definitely is in trouble. When new footage was showed at SDCC, people literally laughed at it. When they tried to CGI Medusa's hair, it looked like something from the early 90s. It was just bad. At this point, admitting defeat and taking it behind the barn and shooting it and putting it out of his misery is probably the best thing to do. I said it once and I'll say it before. The Inhumans are not lead characters. They would be very strong supporting characters. You could use them as antagonists against Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, or even the Fantastic Four if Marvel gets the rights back. But let's move on to New Comic Day. That's what we're here today for. And DC Comics is giving us a ton of Batman. I've been very critical about Marvel overdoing Venom, but I think that DC is about to push the Caped Crusader to his boiling point. First up is All-Star Batman number 14, and this is the final issue of this series. Scott Snyder was committing absolute murder on his run of the New 52 Batman, and All-Star Batman was very good as well. Next up is the main Batman title with issue number 32 coming out this week, and this is the finale of the War of Jokes and Riddles storyline. The new writer on this is Tom King, and he's doing a fantastic job, and all of the artists are crushing it. Also, Catwoman must make a decision if she's going to marry Batman based on him proposing to her back in issue number 24. Next up is Batman, the Dawnbreaker number 1, which is a one-shot. This comes out of events that's related to Dark Knight's Metal, where some strange monsters are coming from the multiverse. Next up is Batman White Knight, issue number 1 of a 7-part miniseries. In this continuity, the Joker is going to be a hero and Batman is going to be the bad guy. So basically the plot involves that the Joker is going to be cured of his insanity, he's going to make peace with Harley Quinn, and he has to stop a Batman who's gone too far. This is definitely alternative universe type stuff, which always makes for interesting stories. Next up is Harley Quinn number 29. I want to apologize because I showed the wrong image last week. This is the cover for issue 29, and this is the cover for issue 28. So 2 weeks ago, I showed issue 29 when I was supposed to show number 28. In saying that, this is a continuation of the Vote Harley storyline where she runs for mayor against a corrupt politician. And of course, the Frank Cho variants continue with this image, and it caused some controversy out there in the Google groups because some people think that her legs are too big. What do you think? Sound off in the comments section. Next up is the speculation pick of the week. And that's going to be Harley and Ivy meet Betty and Veronica, number 1 of a 6-part miniseries. It's going to involve some plot where Ivy is going to recruit Harley to try to kidnap Betty and Veronica. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be that serious. It's just going to be a good funny read and mashing up characters from 2 different publishers and see how they react together. Amanda Conner does a fantastic job on the cover, but Adam Hughes is back with this cover B variant, and I would highly recommend this if you can get it for less than $10. At the time I make this video, that's what it was going for. It's not a limited ratio variant, and the print run on this issue is really going to be high. I did a video previously about how I thought that Adam Hughes was the best artist in comics. Not only does his work look incredible, but they also sell very well. And he hasn't flooded the market. He hasn't been doing a lot of work lately. So when he puts something out, it's going to be a big deal. And I think this is one of those times. So go ahead and pick this up and make sure you get the Hughes variant. There's some controversy on this as well because some people believe that the way the bat is positioned so close to Harley's mouth that it may be a stand-in for a phallic symbol, or possibly a Freudian slip from Adam Hughes. Like when advertisers try to do something like this and you know it's not innocent, you know what they're trying to do. So speak up in the comment section. Do you think that Adam Hughes is trying to intentionally or accidentally be dirty on it? Or is it completely innocent and the people that brought this up are the ones who have the dirty mind? Next up, let's see what Marvel is up to. And that's going to be Legacy. They're returning all their Legacy books back to their original numbering. So that's why you're going to see some very high numbers coming up. It's not really a reboot, but Marvel's kind of treating it that way. And they're not lowering the number of titles. They're actually going to increase them. Nighthawk, Silver Sable, Power Pack, all those are coming back. In addition to the titles that they already have that's going. So they're going to offer a lot of stuff. In saying that, let's get into it. With Avengers 672, this is going to be the first battle between the Avengers and the Champions. The Champions are a splinter group of teenagers that used to be in the Avengers. Kamala Khan, Miles Morales, Kid Nova, Young Cyclops, Amadeus Cho, and Viv Vision. There's going to be many variants on this, as you might expect, but the best one is going to be this variant shown here, which pays homage to Avengers number 53 in the Silver Age. I have to admit, I'm a sucker for the hip-hop covers and the homage swipe covers as well. Next up is Black Bolt number 6, and this is a book that I've overlooked, and a lot of people said, hey, you're overlooking this book. It's actually pretty good. In this continuity, Black Bolt finds himself locked away in a space prison, and he's formed alliances with other characters that are not used very much, like the Absorbing Man, to try to break free. This is a very good overlooked title, and you probably should get a trade paperback to catch up on what's going on. Next up is Jessica Jones number 13. I always recommend this every month because the watercolor covers by David Mack are terrific, but in this issue, they're bringing back the Purple Man. They haven't got into this on the TV show yet, but Jessica Jones shares a daughter with Luke Cage. So she's not only fighting against the Purple Man to protect herself, she's got to protect her kid as well. The Jessica Jones show was way better than I thought it was going to be, and the comic is outstanding. Next up is Punisher Platoon, number 1 of a 6-part miniseries. This is bringing back Garth Ennis and Gronin Parlov, who worked on Punisher Max and Fury Max. This tells a Punisher story that's pre-Punisher, as he leads a team in a war and it documents his first kill. If you're a hardcore Punisher fan, then this is for you. Next up is Spirits of Vengeance number 1, as Marvel dives deep into horror again. This teams up Blade, Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, Hellstorm, and Satana. Satana or Satana, whatever which one is correct. Please let me know in the comments. I made a video previously about Marvel's Phase 4 predictions, and I believe that horror will play a big part. Be sure to go back and watch that. I'll have the link in the description. Of course, there's going to be plenty of variants for this. If you're going to get one, get the Teixeira variant. Teixeira got very famous in the early 90s with his take on Wolverine. And some artists have actually regressed with age, but he's only gotten better. This looks fantastic. Next up is Star Wars number 37. I sound like a broken record when it comes to this franchise. It's a top-notch title. I heavily recommend it. They're still trying to do the action figure variants like this one, but let's face it, they've run out of characters to use. So they're going way deep in the bullpen. The 40th anniversary covers look good as well, like when Obi-Wan sacrifices himself against Darth Vader, a key scene in the first Star Wars movie. Next up is Venom issue 155. As I mentioned before, they're going back to the original numbering. This is going to be part 1 of the Lethal Protector storyline. There's a Matina variant of this that everyone's going crazy over. There's a regular version of it and a lenticular version as well. You know where I stand on this. Don't overpay for this stuff. I refer to these overpriced variants as cotton candy. It tastes good, but it's not very filling. Next up is the Venomverse, number 5 of a 5-part miniseries, so this is the finale. But seriously, Marvel's giving you so much Venom, it never ends anyway. Clayton Crane's multimedia style really works for Venom, so if you're going to get a variant, I would pick up this one, especially since you can get it for cover price. Next up is Old Man Logan, issue number 29. I refer to him as Wolverine. I don't care what they call him. He's been taken on the Maestro. That's a version of the Hulk that maintains Bruce Banner's intelligence. Next up is our report on independent comics and small publishers. First up is Motor Girl, number 9 of a 10-part maxi series from Abstract Studios. It's a story of a female war veteran that owns a junkyard that gets visited by aliens. She has a bad case of PTSD, and she has a gorilla sidekick that only she can see. I think I rhymed again by accident. That one was not on purpose. Next up is Toy Etica, number 3 from Action Lab. This has developed into a little cult hit. And when I say little, pun intended, because it's about small people who make money on the side modeling for kids' toys. If you like the Smurfs or ElfQuest, it's somewhere in between there. Next up is Hillbilly, number 8 from Albatross Funny Books. This is from Eric Powell, who actually owns the company, and he was the guy that gave us The Goon. It's a very well crafted horror tale taking place in the Appalachian Mountains. It doesn't have a very regular schedule, so that may hurt its momentum. Next up is Weed Magic, number 1 from Bliss on Top. This is sold out everywhere. Everyone's going crazy over this thing. April 20th is the unofficial Cannabis Appreciation Day, so it only makes sense that the comic costs $4.20. Yes, this is going to be a novelty, but it's a pretty funny one, so if you like movies like Half Baked and the Cheech and Chong movies and you're a stoner, then this is going to be for you. Next up is Eugenic, number 1 of a 3-part miniseries from Boom Studios. It's a story of a scientist who discovers a cure for when a plague breaks out that may kill everyone in the world. However, when the people who took the cure have children, those children come out to be monsters. That's a very good premise. I'll be picking this up. Next up is Hack Slash Vampirilla #1 from Dynamite Studios. This is a crossover of two different properties, and the reason I'm recommending this is because it has a Jenny Frizen cover. She's red hot right now, so you want to get everything she touches. There's other variants for this, but don't worry about those. Just get the Frizen cover if you're getting it. Next up is Shadow Batman #1, also from Dynamite. Over at DC, they just wrapped up a Batman Shadow 6-part miniseries, so they're going to do one here too, return the favor. So overall, it's basically a overarching 12-part miniseries, even if the continuities aren't the same. The Shadow made his debut in a radio program back in 1930, and he's a big influence on Batman, so that's why I'm recommending this. If you're going to get it, get the Ross variant that I'm showing right here. That is a very nice piece of art by him. Next up is The Tick #1 from New England Comics. This is a real triumph of independent publishing. First appeared in New England Comics Newsletter #14 back in 1986. This new #1 is selling tremendously pre-sale. There's also a live action web series on Amazon started in 2016. Next up is Shadow Man Ray Submerged #1 from Valiant Comics. Ray Submerged is the rap duo most famous for the rap song Black Beatles, which went #1 in 2016. There's going to be connecting covers for this, which recreates the art from their images I showed before. These type of crossovers aren't new for Valiant. They actually crossed over Shadow Man with AEROSMITH back in the 90s. Now it's time to see what Image Comics is up to, and that is always something incredible. Including Extremity #7. This is what happens when two civilizations break out into war. It's brutal, it's bloody, and it's brilliant. The lead character is called Thea. She's a female artist that gets her hand cut off so she can no longer draw, but she becomes one of the most fierce warriors in her tribe. Next up is I Hate Fairyland Special Edition. This is the comic that's written and drawn by Scotty Young about Gertrude, a woman who's been stuck in a fairy tale for decades, and she's going freaking crazy. It looks like it's drawn for kids, but it is MA mature material. This is similar to Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, because she chops her way through other Image properties like Saga, The Walking Dead, Spawn, Descender, Black Science, Southern Bastards, and others. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and pick this up. It does have a $6 cover price. Next up is Motor Crush #7, and this is a personal favorite of mine. It's about an African-American female motorcycle racer told about 50 years in the future, and the character just so happens to be a lesbian too. It's part of the story, but it does not dominate the story. It's just a part of who the character is. This is written and drawn by Babs Tarr, Cameron Stewart, and Brendan Fletcher, who got famous on the Batgirl New 52 series. Next up is a new series called Slots #1. It's the story of a retired aging boxer who tries to make a fortune in Las Vegas. I definitely will be checking this out, especially the cover B variant, which is a homage to The Walking Dead 100 when they first teased Negan. Speaking of The Walking Dead, issue 172 drops this week. It's the start of a new storyline called Hilltop Reborn. The princess was well received in issue 171, so I'm curious to see how that character is going to blend with the rest of civilization. She had been surviving by herself for almost a year without seeing another human being. So if they bring her back to camp, strange things may happen because she may be mentally unstable. Next up is Warframe #1, and yes, this is based on the free-to-play cooperative shooter game. The premise is, in the future, humanity's descendants scramble to survive in a galaxy rife with conflict, scavenging, and ancient technology and long-forgotten secrets. And fun was had by all. In real-world news, I'm shocked and saddened about what happened in Las Vegas, the tragedy there. A moment of silence for the victims. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others learn about comic power. That's about it for today. Thank you for watching Wicked Wednesday, where I review all the new comic books for a new comic day. Be sure to follow my blog at comicpower.net. On social media, follow me at facebook.com/comicpower.net and comicpower-universe.tumblr.com. And don't forget twitter.com/comicpowersub. I also sell comics on eBay at this link. This is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye. And don't forget to share this video, click on subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell everyone you know about this channel to help it grow. Thank you for your support.